someone else is like, no way. One time at scout camp, I saw the same thing, but no one else has ever said that.
I'm not gonna record it again, but because it would lose the magic.
Right.
But I will record. I'm now recording us talking about not recording it. So then, when everyone's like, we got to hear the alien story. When everyone requests it, we will special guest Annette in. I mean, like, this is the story you've all been waiting for. All 10 of you have been waiting for.
Exactly.
And all those 10s are actually just me on different accounts. That's all it is. So.
Okay, I will be quiet now if you guys have big business to discuss.
Big D&D business.
Annette, if you ever want to play, please join.
Yeah, Evan's actually said that before.
I thought this is a great way to just like try it out and
watch part of our videos on YouTube, just even like 10 minutes, and if you think, yeah, this looks fun, great, and if it doesn't, then be like, no, you guys are the worst people in the world.
Cool.
Parker's been recording them and uploading them to you.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get started. Let's get rolling through this thing. Annette, it's always a pleasure.
Yep, good to chat with you, Parker, and hopefully everyone else on this call just thinks I'm a total maniac now.
we think nothing but the best of you. Well, there's enough of us that I think we can talk about some of these things that and you guys play enough. I was debating whether we just go right into the big town improvement stuff, but I think we're good enough to talk things out here, and then I can move anything we want to move to group chat. We can move there. So, well, thanks for joining, guys. I just kind of wanted to have a little feedback and brainstorming session. I've been mulling over a bunch of ideas and been talking with some people about some different ideas, and I kind of wanted to centralize those ideas as well as just do an inventory for how we think things are going and anything we really like or things we want to change as well. So anything you guys have as we go throughout this, please say it in a way that doesn't make me cry. That's all I ask. And even then, that's hard to do. So
let's try and make him cry.
A whole written speech.
Make him cry.
Brian's like, I've done a quick psychological profile on Parker, and I have some talking points.
Well, judging by Parker's hat, I think it's pretty easy to make him cry right now.
They're not out yet.
They should have won that game 3, though.
I mean, Montreal's playing well.
They're playing really well, actually. It's been a good series.
Yeah, but I hate Corey Perry so much, and he's on Montreal, and I hate Corey Perry. So
there's a lot worse players out there, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could say Ryan Reeves is the worst player, and that's fair. He's exciting to watch, but he's a big jerk on the ice.
Yeah. I was watching that game, and I can't believe that Montreal won it.
Yeah, they're playing really well.
Well, that and they're getting lucky too, which is half of
it right hockey.
There. Yeah, that Fleury goof. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're getting outshot like crazy before that. Anyway, sorry.
That's how Vegas plays. No worries. So let's just start with general questions. I guess I just wanted to get. I'm actually really enjoying this campaign more than I actually thought I even would. I think there's definitely a lot of ways we can get better and improve, and do things that people like a little more. And I'm learning a lot, I think, every time we play. But I'm actually really liking this. I'm liking the flexibility of it. I'm liking there doesn't have to be a lot of continuity, and people can jump in and jump out. So I just wanted to ask you guys, what are some things that you are enjoying about, or enjoy like the most in this campaign?
Nobody's enjoying anything, I guess.
Good feedback. means I got a lot of work to do. How about this?
It's flexible to, easy to join if you're available, and also you don't have to feel like you're holding the group back if you can't
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to go for a couple weeks, so I don't feel like bad that I'm missing. It just is more like, dang it, I wish I was there.
Yeah, it's like FOMO instead of like,
Mhm.
there's so much I'm gonna have to catch up on.
Well, not even like worried about just getting catching up on stuff. It's just more like I'm just bummed that I'm missing out on the adventures, but
Sure.
I don't have to feel bad inside that like I'm letting you guys down because I'm not there to help.
That's true. That's fair. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like it's really well balanced so that like if everybody's not the same level, it's like it's still challenging, but we don't always feel like we're gonna lose the entire party if
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fritz isn't there or whatever.
was it you, Brian, who's like level 1 when everyone else is level 3, and I didn't even know till you went down in one hit?
No, that was.
Oh, that was Brian. Who was that?
Probably sounds like me.
No, I think
I
someone
don't
else
know.
went down. I think it was Brandon's character. I can't
Maybe,
remember.
maybe it was Brandon, but it's like, I mean, he was still doing fine up until that point. Just he got critted, and
Yeah. Yeah, that'll
that
be
that can knock anybody down fast.
for sure. Okay, so you guys like doing the different levels? Because I actually really enjoyed that also.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, it lets it keeps things like, I don't know, as one of the players that I know is like, my character is supposed to be a little stronger than some of the lower levels. I feel like I can have a cool moment. Things are tense for me, like trying to keep them alive and trying to absorb some damage, while things are always tense for them because if I don't do that job well, then they're going to go down fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
most of my characters are probably going to put themselves in dangerous situations as well.
Sure.
So,
Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you guys are enjoying, specifically like when we play the game itself, like combat, role playing, exploration in like the locations in the world itself? Is there anything you have, I guess, are enjoying or liking about that?
I mean, at least, like I said, I haven't gone on the last couple ones, so I don't know how they've been, but like the least ones I went on were pretty fair. Like it wasn't just like all combat or all role play. There was a good balance of everything,
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
always fun.
I think I like the combat maybe the most, but I do like, when there's a tense moment leading up to it, or a reason for it. So, and I think you've done a really good job of creating those, collaborating with what players do, but building off of that. Just like the standoff at the Goblin Cave last time I was able to play. I just felt
Yeah,
like that was a really cool moment
that was a good
where
moment.
plenty of satisfying combat after, but a build up to it was that ended up being pretty intense. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, most. I'm glad you actually say that because most of that stuff is just improvised. So I don't plan much that this last session was it was 90% on the fly, and it was just, I don't know. I feel like those in those moments it's so chaotic, and I don't know how things are going because I'm just kind of like trying to scramble and throw something together. Like just like one step at a time. I'm just basically reacting to whatever you guys are doing. And I'm glad to hear that those aren't, I'm always worried about like breaking the suspense of disbelief. Or belief. Which one is it? Suspension of belief.
yeah,
I'm always worried about breaking that and doing something that's like too out there or too doesn't fit within this situation. Um, so it's nice hearing that you've enjoyed those moments because that's something I'm always, I think, worried about. So is there any part that you all find generally pretty, maybe boring is the wrong word, but like you're not too sold on or you don't think is super fun? I had talked to Evan about this and Jameson. I'd been thinking about it. But I personally, as the DM right now, I'm wanting to revamp how we travel. it's just taking too much time, and it's meaning that we either miss part of the dungeons or I don't get to reward you guys with loot at the end, which I want to do those things. I think those are really enjoyable. So coming up with like some travel guidelines and rules, which are like, if you have like a specific destination in mind, then we can just get you there really quick, just doing a few rolls and basically just fast travel you there. But if you want to go and just do an exploration thing, then that'll be different, and we'll actually run through like, you know, survival checks, camping out, taking watches, things like that. So travel for me is one thing I want to improve. Is there anything you guys could see improvement for, or that you just generally think are boring? And it could be the travel also. It doesn't have to be something new.
Trying to think of something besides that, and I don't personally have issue with anything that's happened so far.
Are you all okay with the amount of like role playing that's happening in the game? Like, do you feel like there could be more opportunities for role play or less? Or is it fine?
By role playing, I mean, I see plenty of opportunities for characters to, you know, role play things out as they're making choices. There haven't been too many like super dialogue heavy sections where we're, you know, like meeting a new town and just meeting person after person after person or whatever. We usually going somewhere and doing a thing. I'm okay with that because
Okay.
personally, my character doesn't even talk very well, so
That's
like
true.
that would be really hard for me, and I would probably, you know, start to disengage more or just feel like I had no effective way to contribute. But other players might be feeling that. I could understand that.
What about you and Brian and Sean?
Well, I think it's at an all right level. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not good at anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if there's actually a good at role playing, but I do understand the feeling of feeling not able to do it. I do understand that. Because I realize it's funny, every time I come up with an NPC, I actually have a voice in my head of what they're going to sound like. And it usually starts pretty good, and then I eventually forget it and just go back to my normal voice because I'm trying to think like what the best responses would be, so I just drop any voice altogether.
That's why all my characters just sound like me because I can't do voices.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Just so I'm remembering, Brian plays Kaya, and Sean plays
Kaya.
Stinkbot.
Yeah.
Sean
I'm just a robot.
Stinkbot, yeah, okay.
And Evan plays the frog.
Yeah, I'm the frog.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there is anything that you guys ever find to be just generally when it starts happening, you're like, oh no, not this again, just let me know. I'm definitely open to that feedback. So
Nah, so far I really like it. Like I know Brandon's character prefers pacifism, but that doesn't overbearingly like dictate what the group does. Like no combat when Brandon's around. And I know that Jameson is like super inquisitive and magician-y, but you know, I think those players are doing a great job of bringing out some role play, and the rest of us are figuring things out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, I'm pretty new at it too. I don't do voices like Parker either at all. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess the talk kind of has a voice, but it's more just like a grunty voice. So
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm really putting a ton of thought into that. It's just kind of whatever comes out.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, is just using your own voice and just changing one thing about it, like, yeah, the pitch or where you're placing it. I think that's a good way to do it if you're gonna do it. Because I'm trying to get better at that. That's okay. Let's go into, this is more like talking about, I mentioned this earlier, I guess, but like specifically changing things within the game itself. So last time we were playing, Brandon rolled a 20, and he said, I was like, oh, is that a nat 20? And he said, no, it's a dirty 20. And we ended up talking about like dirty crits. And I really liked that name. And I thought that'd be a better name for the YouTube channel.
What is it now?
It was Huzzah for All. And I never really liked that name. I just kind of went with it. It was
Needed something.
It was like a placeholder, yeah. But I really like Dirty Crits, or Dirty Crit, but I think I like crits more.
As long as it's not like a D or something, or like no, with a Z or something.
I had the thought, do I do a Z at the end? I was like, no, I'm not doing a Z.
that's a D thing right there. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want that.
I actually had that thought as well, and I was like, no, I'm not a teenager, not a teenager.
we don't have a lady. What does D even call it? There's elf lady. Lady Fire. Yeah. Lady Fire's not here, so let's stick with normal.
Yeah. So if there's any strong opposition to that name, just let me know. We can think of something else, but
I really like it.
I really like
I'm
it.
fine.
Yeah.
I think I'm good with it.
And I thought my mind always races 200 miles per hour when one thought enters, and I think it's a good idea. Then I just think about it like all day, and I already have a really good logo for it. It's just 18 and then parentheses a +2, and I love it. I think it's so good. There, I'm gonna type it on the Google Doc so you can see what it looks like. But
you said it's in the Google Doc already?
Yeah,
I don't know
it kind of looks like a guy.
Anymore.
I posted it in the group chat.
I was looking on my computer right now. I know it's in here somewhere. I just gotta find it. How far back was it?
Kind of, if you look at it sideways, it kind of looks like a guy with like a face, and the plus sign is a nose. Hey, I just see.
Where is it at in here?
There, just highlighted it.
I don't know, like which tab is it in? Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm in the Google Doc that I posted, not the player sheet.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did you post another Google Doc?
Today.
Like 4 messages ago in West March's group me.
Oh, so I can't find it. It's not in Discord. I don't have my phone on me.
Yeah.
Can you post it in Discord for me?
Yeah.
Por favor.
I actually don't see it though, Parker. I don't know what I can look later. I don't know what I did wrong.
It's probably just not updating on Google.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, there's the Google Doc in the general channel.
Oh, I did click on this earlier, then I didn't read it on my phone. For some reason, every time I open these on my phone, like sometimes the little like bullet points get super stretched out.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah, that happens to me too.
But yeah, it's not updated yet. I don't see it in here yet.
Well, I don't know. So
I mean, sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't say whatever
no.
it looks like is probably good, but
yeah, it's not. It's not like this. This is so far ahead in the future. Like, I just thought it was funny to think about.
I mean, like off the top of my head, just like with the name, something I was thinking of is if you did like a die on 18, and then like it was like made out of dirt or something was the +2.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like the dirty crit.
That'd be cool.
But I'm not good at Photoshop. That'd be like a D thing to talk to him about.
Yeah, I definitely can't do it. I did talk a little bit about travel earlier. So I think we'll have so I am going to do basically we're going to skip when we're traveling to a specific place. We're going to skip doing night watches, and we're going to skip doing like survival checks to see if you get lost or not. Instead, what we're going to do is each day of travel, one person's going to roll a d20, and I'll choose 2 random numbers essentially, and something will happen if 1 or 2 of those numbers are rolled in the day, and that's essentially going to be it. Okay. It's not always something. It's not always like a combat encounter. It's just something will happen.
Random events.
Exactly. Yeah. Rather, because I don't want it to be like, I was talking to Evan about this, and I don't want it to be like, Pokemon where everything's level 100 or 99, and you're traveling through the tall grass and there's Pidgeys popping up every 2 minutes. That's not the point of D&D. So, and it was funny because I talked about this last session, and they just bought horses last session actually, and
Oh, that's cool.
they were like, do we get a bonus to our roll because we're using horses? And in my mind I was like, I think I'm just choosing two numbers, and like that's all there is to it. And I was like, I don't know if you could do a bonus to that. But I was just like, yes, you get a bonus to it. So I'll add a bonus. Something good will happen if you ride with horses. I'll add like one extra number on there or something. It may not be good, but something else may happen. So there you go.
That's cool. Yeah, that was something I was going to ask, is if you landed on what happens at the end of a session, since we're not teleporting anymore.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably just do, depending on how much time we have, we can either like just end the session at the end of the dungeon, which I think will happen 90% of the time. I think you'll just end at the dungeon. You've got your rewards, and you'll just have to like walk back essentially, or take horses back. And so, yeah, it won't be like teleportation, but it essentially in the game it won't be like teleportation, but for all intents and purposes it will be. But I just want the option to, if something happens where I feel like you have to travel back to the town itself, like on foot or on horseback, I want to have that option available. I don't want it always to just be teleportation back, essentially.
But does each session still plan to begin from the town, the main White Wall?
Yes.
So we've assumed in the downtime we all traveled back in some manner of safety.
Correct. Yeah. Like one thing I was thinking about, I'll just let you like look behind this. Well, I don't want to reveal it actually. I'm not going to reveal it.
Okay. That's fine.
But I have
no peek behind the screen.
Yeah, because I really want this to be like a thing if it happens. So yeah, but if for some reason the party got separated from each other or something like that, two people aren't with, like when Brian and Sean's character got trapped in the Goblin Cave. No one, they weren't teleported out of danger, like they weren't taken back. And so but Jameson's character made it back. So I want the option to do things like that. Like I don't want it just to be like, okay, we made it to the session, my character is safe, That's not always going to be the case.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, side note, sorry, I was just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because Jameson's character didn't technically ever know that we had died either, right? Or like if somebody dies, like does their name disappear off the wall type of thing? Or like is there an in-game way that we know if other characters died?
No.
If we're not there.
No, there's not. That's a good question. No, because the names don't actually remain on the wall. They just kind of fade away into it.
Yeah.
So there's no in-game way. Eventually somebody either doesn't show up, or you
because like technically, I mean, I guess he was pretty sure we were dead just because of how he left us. But I mean, like for like Josh's character and Dee's character, who were briefly there and then left.
Yeah.
They just didn't even know technically.
So right now, because this was before, I mean, they're hanging out in the tavern essentially, or they're living in the town of Whitewall,
Yeah. So I mean, I guess eventually they'd find out because Jameson's character would have told them. But I just was wondering if there was anything like that, like in game where
word of mouth.
Other than word of mouth. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's fair for sure. Okay. I was thinking about this. I know Brandon and myself. I know Brandon really likes his dice. He's very proud of his like personal dice that he has. So if you ever want to use your personal dice, like in real life, just roll at your table. That's totally fine. You don't have to use D&D Beyond or Roll20. And you can just add your modifiers and things.
I rolled a 4. Nope.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing it for like really big rolls, because I usually have so many weird roles that I like doing it on the computer. But I might do it sometimes also. I'm just not 100%. But if you want to, I want that to be an option for you.
Cool. Are we trying to show them on camera at all, or
You don't have to. If you want to,
we're just
great.
gonna,
But
we're
you
just
don't have
gonna
to.
Are you fudging your numbers?
And I'll just trust you. I
Marco
believe.
is for sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
The funny thing is you can tell if I'm fudging my numbers if you watch the YouTube videos. It shows
That's
everything I
actually true.
roll. You don't know the modifier, I guess, but
Oh, the Canadians almost gave themselves had an own goal.
but yeah, I don't want people to feel like I like rolling in front of everyone and having everyone see, because then people get to react. Like, I think that's fun, but I also totally think it'd be fun to use your own dice, and I think that should be an option. So
I like not having to do math.
yeah, that's true as well.
Yes.
That's very true as well. This one I'm not so sure about. The last session I ran it with 3 people, and I thought running it with 3 was really good. Actually, I thought everybody was able to have a moment. We were able to share time pretty well. People interacted with each other. The pace was pretty good. So I was thinking of lowering the maximum amount of people from 5 people to 4 people. On the one hand, I really like this idea because I think it'll help the pacing of the game go better. I think the more people, especially online, it exponentially increases how much everything takes. On the other hand, though, I want people to be able to play when they finally have a chance to do so. So I want there to be openings available. I don't want it to feel too exclusive or like you'll never play, essentially. So I just wanted to get some feedback on that and what everyone's thoughts were.
I mean, I don't feel like we necessarily need to lower it right now. How many days? I mean, it's been a little while since you've had a game with 5, anyways. But,
That's true.
I mean, because I've done some online with 6, and that gets to be a little bit much. So I understand like the 5 cap part.
Yeah.
But I mean, until maybe like, and especially because I mean, we basically have the same people who are going all the time, anyways. Until some more of us can get in there, that I just feel like maybe it's a little early to drop it down. And if it gets out of hand, maybe it's something we can revisit. But I don't know if there's really the need right now from what I've seen.
That's fair. Maybe if we're consistently getting 5 people, then we can think about it.
Yeah, and then if it gets to be a problem with the 5, or even if it's like consistently 5 and you feel like not everyone's getting a chance, then that's something that we definitely could look at. But where here, I guess you were doing 5 for most of them earlier on. It's only been the last couple that have been less, right?
True, yeah. I can't remember.
Okay.
Was the Shrine one 5 or 4? I can't remember now.
I was listening to the Shrine one, but I came late, so I wasn't
think that's
playing.
what it
I was
was.
just in the call. Yeah,
That's right.
I think there's only 4 of them though.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been mostly 4 as well.
So I mean, but like I said, because I haven't really played any of the 4 ones. So if you feel like it's better, then I mean, by all means, pull the trigger on the change. But like I said, I just feel like the ones I was in with 5, I don't feel like we're too out of hand, or people were just not left not doing anything. But
I
I
think
haven't
that's
done
fair
a
too.
4
Also,
one,
it's not happening very frequently, so there's no real maybe need for it as well. I think that's a very fair point. Also,
Maybe
Brian or Evan, you got any thoughts?
is there? So I think maybe when you have more players, what really gets bogged down at that point is probably combat rounds, right?
A lot of it is combat, I would say, for sure.
And
but it also makes decision making harder. I've found, because there's more voices and more ideas.
What do we do, or who says what? Okay.
Rather than just 2 ideas to choose between, it's now like 3 or 4 ideas instead.
But also, though, like the ones I was in were still pretty early on, where some people were like afraid to really voice their opinions.
True.
When then we were kind of hesitant to like make a decision as well. Like nobody wanted to be that person to say like, let's do this.
Yeah.
Where I feel like that's just something that with time, I mean, certain people and certain characters don't want to be the leader either, so they might not want to always be voicing their opinion on things like that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just how they're playing their character, but
Sure.
we still want to make sure that they're getting their voice out there.
That's fair.
I think I don't know how you balance it, Parker, because I've never even. I mean, just little exposure, but when you up the number of players,
Yeah.
I don't know if you up the HP of baddies or just up the number of baddies or both. You know,
Yeah.
it's like slide a little bit of sliders that you're trying to balance everything so that it's challenging. So we don't go in and just, because it's 5 against 1, we just wall up on whatever bad guy that was supposed to, um, and
Yeah.
player 5, player number 5 who rolled the lowest initiative doesn't even get to hit him. Like so.
I usually try to adjust it a bit.
I figure you do. So I feel like maybe what you felt was the pacing was better, was encounters didn't feel like quite as long because you didn't have to have so many hit points just total on the battlefield, and like
That's a good point.
this player deciding where to move and this player deciding what to do. Maybe I think I'm as guilty as I'm on the more guilty side of sometimes overthinking my actions in combat and taking too long, and maybe we self-impose like a 60 or 90-second time limit, or
And I don't want to
is that
do that. I understand what you're saying, and I think that's a good idea. I think if we just I think for right now at least, if it's just like a general like I want like I want your turns to be creative. I don't want combat to just be I cast I move 20 feet, I cast this, I bonus action, that's my turn,
okay?
Like I like it when people are like, I pull out my sword and I drag it along the sand and run up and like, say some words as I do it.
Well, yeah, and it's also kind of tricky where some characters are newer to their characters or just newer to D&D Beyond or D&D in general, where until they kind of get a feel for their character, or like wizards especially with all their spells, like I understand why it takes them a little bit longer on their turn because they have so many options versus me where I go hit them with my weapon or I cast a heal basically. Like it's a lot easier for me to decide my turn than some other people.
Yeah, so I think you're right, Evan. I actually think you present a good point. I think maybe it's hard for me because if I only have one character, then yeah, I do get, I get, instead of getting 3 hits, I get 4 or 5, and that's like that's so much more. That's that's two additional turns than 3 versus 5. And so as I think seeing that happen, I'm like, oh man, there's no tension in this battle. They're just gonna dominate because they get so many hits off. So that's something I need to be aware of, I think, for sure. And then I think for right now, if we have 5 or maybe even 4, I think right now it's just encouraging people to like make sure they're trying to be creative but concise in their actions,
and also paying attention so they even know like when it is their turn or like are kind of have already a plan in mind. Because
yeah, that's fair, that's true too.
if they're like, not paying attention or doing something else and then all of a sudden it's their turn, then they have to think a lot longer than if they'd already kind of started like with a plan. Like it can always change, but
true, that's fair.
Like chess, you got to think 3 moves ahead.
Yeah, except in chess there aren't 200 spells. There's only
there's got to be like 200
8
move
different
options
pieces
later on.
I know there's probably infinite option. Well, not infinite, but there's probably
no, but I mean, no, I understand. Yeah, I just mean like at least paying attention to what the person in front of them is doing too, and maybe like when they're on deck, knowing that they're on deck, so they should be ready and be at least kind of going over some ideas. But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
So I think
for right now, I think if we start hitting 5 people consistently, then we can revisit it. If I feel like, or if we feel, like it's not flowing well. And then right now when we have 5 people, just encouraging turns to be creative but concise. essentially. Or creative and concise. Okay, some rules things. I know I talked about this briefly before, but I'm just wondering again. I really don't like the flanking rule.
Let's not do it.
Yeah, we don't do
Okay,
it. That
cool.
easy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You don't like it? You're the boss.
Because I know some people have asked about it, and I just don't want to feel like people are like, oh, I really like flanking, you know. So.
Well, I've just been playing a lot of Pathfinder, so that's why I was thinking of flanking from the get go. But
And you're not the only one. There have been other people that have asked about
Yeah.
it. And
yeah, no, it's just one of those things that like the different games, different rules. I don't think there's technically flanking in D&D anyway.
it's
So
optional, yeah.
yeah,
And I think I'm just concerned because I want to make sure people are asking just to clarify and not because they just really want to do it. You know, so I just wanted that clarification.
I don't think I've ever played in a group big enough where we could pull flanking off, so I don't think I'm missing anything.
It's a fair point.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you get flanked, it's just as bad for you, right?
True. That's
unless
true.
you're in Pathfinder, if you're a rogue and they're the same level, then they can't flank you. But
Yeah.
that's just
There's nothing like that in here.
yeah. I don't think there's anything like that in D&D because
I mean, it adds a particular strategy angle. Like if
Maybe-
you get the group to surround the strong guy and you just wail on him, then. But meanwhile, other people could be flanking your character, right? But at the same time, like you're putting together lots of encounters with like
Yeah.
minimal notice, and that's really hard to balance against for you, Parker. So I totally get like another thing that maybe isn't necessary.
Well, I was just thinking, maybe it'd be fun to like if we get to town improvements and you guys build like a combat ground or something, you know, it could be like, yeah, once an encounter, once a day, you get flanking activated, you know. So that might be a good segue, or that could be something that we revisit in the town.
Yeah, combat training kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could also be like a very situational thing. Like if we, if there's like 3 of us like cornering a goblin and they literally have nowhere to run.
Yeah.
Maybe in that one circumstance, but
yeah,
I think
that's
as a
good. So
general
case by case flanking. I like that. That's a good call.
Yeah.
probably the backyard neighbors.
You what backdoor neighbors?
Oh, my mother-in-law said something smelled like it was burning, and I think my backyard neighbors are burning their trash again.
Your backyard neighbors are burning? Oh, burning their trash.
Burning their trash. They do that. This is Idaho. People do what they want.
I was gonna say that's even worse. I'd rather have them burn themselves. No, I don't mean that. This is something I really am interested in. I know I've talked about it. I really want to start tracking the time in the game. I want to figure out how to do a good calendar in the Google Doc using the calendar tab. The way I had before, it's really bad. It's not good.
I couldn't even see it as far as
it's
Yeah, the
horrible.
calendar tab just doesn't work for me.
Absolutely garbage. So I really want to have a calendar, and it doesn't need to be something fancy. Like I want it I think I want it to have a 10-day week. But it can have any number of months, you know. I just want to be able to have that located in the Google Doc. So if anybody knows how to make a calendar Google Docs, I've tried looking it up and I don't understand it. Because I want essentially when I want you to open that tab, I want the month that we're currently on to be at the top. And I don't know how to do that. So if anyone knows, it would help me out a ton.
I don't know how to do it, but I could take a crack at it.
If you do, you'll earn
Try to figure it out.
You'll earn one of those tokens. Maybe more if it's really good.
Nice.
I gotta figure out how many of those I still have.
Yeah, I need to. That's another thing we need to probably talk about. But
I think I have like 3, but I haven't used any I've gotten. But
let me ask that really quick.
because I haven't done a write up because I haven't been on one forever.
With the tokens, I realize no one's really buying anything with the tokens, and I think that's two parts. One, I think we forget about it, and two, I think things
I think
maybe aren't rotating quick enough.
I think Jameson got like healing potions once, and that's the only time I've seen him used.
That's the only time it's been used.
It's kind of like scarcity in my mind. Like, ooh, like I know, like when I make potions in Skyrim, I'm supposed to use them, but I'm also like, but do I want to use the last potion of this? So it's like, do I want to spend all my tokens on this right now, or do I save more, or do I wait for something to rotate, or like, yeah. And I
Okay.
also don't know how often things are rotating, so that's in my mind what's holding me back.
How often would you guys like to see that thing rotate?
Maybe with warning ahead of time for you, like, oh, if I didn't remember to look for 2 weeks, like 3 days, I'm going to rotate this, guys, or something. Like every couple weeks would be fine with me.
Okay, I don't think I could do it every couple weeks, but I could probably do it
Um,
every month.
Every 5 sessions or something like that.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Doesn't
And I
even
think
have
I'm
to
gonna
be
lower.
a calendar lined up.
I'm gonna lower the amount of items that rotate. Right now, there's 5. I think. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm gonna lower that to 3. So then we can get some quicker rotations and all. That way, I'm not having to constantly come up with, or not come up with, but get a bunch of different items. So. Okay, cool. Any other thoughts on the tokens? Like, are we kind of just forgetting about them, or are we saving them?
I've been
Or
saving
do we
mine. Like,
care?
I mean, it's an interesting thing, and like especially when like we were doing the write ups and stuff, like getting them that way was kind of cool. But if you're filming them,
I
I don't know
still
if
really
people
like the
feel like
write-ups.
I just don't know if since you started filming them, if people really have done the write ups or know
No,
that
you're
they
right.
are still an option. But
Yeah.
like I said, I haven't gone on any since you started filming them either, except for that first one. But
It looks like Jameson's been doing some. That's good.
Yeah, he's been really good at it, and I like started a second one, and it was the end of the school year, and so I fell off the cliff on that.
Oh, I was super confused. Wait, when did we run our?
I did another. I thought I did another one, but I don't see it on here, so I don't know.
Okay, yeah. That's good. Yeah, I actually love reading the write-ups. I read all of them. I hadn't checked the last session, so I'm glad to see Jameson did one. And because I like seeing the players' perspectives on them. I think that's really fun. And like I like when the characters write them themselves. I really like the creativity on that. That's super cool. The Lacat one was just so good. So
Yeah, I have a second one, but like I said, it's from like 2 other sessions ago or something.
yeah,
And
so
I
feel
feel like
free.
at this point, we're like statute of
Sure.
limitations is
Parker.
not the right thing, but
Yeah, if feel free to post them because I love reading all the write-ups. So
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
sounds good.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear Parker.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear my wife. She said something to me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me.
No, she wanted me to tell you though that we are naming our next child after you.
Oh, name it Parker?
Yeah,
Is it a boy or a girl?
it's a boy. Yeah.
Nice. I've actually been meeting a lot of girl Parkers lately. Lots of them.
Oh, I haven't met any girl Parkers, but that's
Well,
what we went with. It's a name that won.
It's a name that's gets me constantly confused with Patrick's, Preston's, Peter's, all the time.
Oh, my name just gets me confused with like scene and and people think I spell it wrong or they spell it wrong all the time.
That's impressive. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Are there any other thoughts or ideas on gameplay stuff that anybody has? Any burning questions or burning ideas on any of it? Okay, cool. Okay, I just wanted to finish up. This is probably actually the thing I'm most wanting to like really implement next. is I really would like to. I really want to do some like. Basically, the town of Whitewall is pretty bare bones as it stands. So I think it would be awesome to have players. As players get stronger and as they get richer, to see that wealth in something beyond just like, because like money becomes meaningless pretty quick in D&D. After you buy, the armor you want, horses, there's not a lot you buy, like you either start with the things that are most important to you, or you're buying like rations and maybe some random supplies at some points. So I want players to feel like they can put their money into something that's very like, that has a tangible effect on the game and something they can be proud of as they like work and progress. So my idea is building buildings within the town of Whitewall that have direct effects onto gameplay, but are also something that players are investing resources in to have happen. So like, for example, if like, let's say you wanted to build a library in the town of Whitewall. So that would be like an initial investment, of some amount, for like materials and people to build the building, and then supplies to like fill it with. So we come up with that amount, and then there's like a routine maintenance cost on the building just for the people working in it. But the players might get like advantage on all history rolls for something that could be found in a book or something like that, like, so something that has, direct correlations to gameplay itself. So just what are, I guess, initial thoughts or questions on any of that?
I thought the idea was kind of interesting. I was actually going to bring it up next session.
Okay.
But like, do we just say, I want to do this, spend the money and it's done? Or is it like something we incorporate into the session? Or
I think we could do it outside a session pretty easily. What might be good is to have like a player treasury. So like anyone can submit money to the treasury, and that money that could then be used to like help build buildings up. So like any money that you want to keep, you can just keep. But if you're like, I'm never going to use this money, I'm just going to put it into the treasury. So now you have, 200 gold in there. And if 5 people end up putting in 200 gold, well, now you have 1,000 gold in there.
Yeah, that was going to be my main question, is how do we gather resources, or is one player going to be expected to fork over the cash for an improvement? But
what do you think about the idea of a treasury? Does that sound like it would work?
yeah, like another.
Well, I mean, we'd have to build it first, but
I thought about that. I think that we would just assume that exists. We'd be stuck in a loop.
Maybe we can even allocate funds, where we want, so that someone doesn't put 100 gold in or something, but then
Oh, nice. I like that.
Someone assumes it was for, whatever the party wants, and it gets used up, but they wanted it to go to not the library, but to the combat ground or whatever. But
I love that. That's a great idea.
we could have a tab, a funds tab or something, and donate to whatever cause you're looking for.
I love that.
Have like those little like, thermometers or paper things or whatever that high schools always use for fundraisers, and you just fill in a little bar.
Yeah,
for each improvement.
If you guys build one, you win a pizza party.
Sounds pretty cool.
I do like pizza.
Evan does that all the time, don't you?
Pizza parties?
No, the thermometers.
Thermometers. Ever since I got out of student government. I don't do them anymore. I don't have to advise those kids anymore, so I'm fine.
But you're itching. You're itching for it.
Wish I had more thermometers in my life. Yeah.
I need a tracking device for when I'm close to a goal. I'll use a thermometer, which is ironic because the higher thermometer goes, the worse it is. Well, I guess not necessarily, but
Yeah, but do we want the frog to be in charge of our thermometers?
Exactly. No, my idea of comfortable temperature is going to be way off.
yeah, that's true. When you get to 100% on a thermometer, you're very sick at that point, you know? Like, no one wants to be 100% on a thermometer. Okay, cool. I like that idea. I love that a lot, actually. So you can allocate to a specific building, I think is great.
I mean, it just means there's like more to keep track of, but then we just make
It's
a
just one
spreadsheet
other
for
tab,
it, and
I
it
think,
shouldn't
right?
be. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like
Yeah.
I was thinking of like just Parker having to keep track. I'm like, wait, we can just put it on a spreadsheet and it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
I think it could be part of the town improvements tab.
me
Oh,
too.
there is already a town improvement one.
So I have been like apprehensive, and in my apprehension has also made it so that I just don't think about it that much, because like I don't know if I'm supposed to add my ideas of town improvements or wait for Parker to show us what's available, or if it's more collaborative, like everyone do what you want and we'll talk about it later and balance it however we can or whatever.
Yeah. Well, let's figure that out right now.
Yeah.
So the way how I'm envisioning it and thinking about it is, you guys, I think we just have a discussion about it and we can kind of decide if we think it's a good idea.
Is there downtime in D&D?
Yes, that's actually one reason I want to come up with a calendar so we can track.
Okay, because I know like in like Pathfinder, you like do a roll and you get like income for downtime and stuff. I just wasn't sure if there's something similar in D&D.
We could do something like that as built into the game. There's not a lot with that, but I just read about. I actually just found one like 10 minutes before this, a supplement that actually looks really good. That's a very similar structure with what we're trying to do, and they had some good ideas in there. So when I actually read that, I'll be more well informed.
Because I mean, like, yeah, because like for me, for example, where I don't play every session, I might not have as much gold built up as some of the other players, but I'd still want to like contribute type of thing. So I wasn't sure because I know like in the one I'm in right now, that's like a Pathfinder one. They have like everyone just roll their downtime, and it's like a Discord channel. You roll it there, so it keeps track of it, and like, but the downtime income in Pathfinder is like, I think I get like 7 silver or something like that for a day's work.
Yeah,
which over time it adds up.
We can probably come up with something like that. So I think what I want actually the protocol to be for doing new buildings is, if you think of a good building idea, just message me with like what you want to build, and what are some benefits that building might provide, you know, and then we can kind of go through a negotiation to try to come to a place where we both feel comfortable with. Because like if you message me, you know, and you're like, I want to build a combat place that gives me +3 on all my attacks to hit, you know, I'm not gonna let that happen. I could be like, well, maybe we could do like advantage once a day or something, you know, but so how does that sound?
Okay.
If you come up with an idea after this, we'll brainstorm a little bit, but after this, just message me or the group, the generalized group, with the building idea and what benefits you think that would have.
Yeah, I or someone can add that. Like if we add those instructions to the town improvements tab,
Perfect.
so that other people who aren't here but happen upon the tab could be like, oh, okay, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that would be great. And I assume, you know, I can already see on the list some ideas that have been discussed, and maybe we come up with more, and then other people know they can add things as we go forward. That's cool.
Perfect. Yes, I will add the instruction. That's a good idea. I actually forgot about that, so that is great. Okay.
Yeah, +3 on all my hits. I'm on board for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Every hit ever.
Sign me up.
So message Parker or group me about building idea and possible benefits. Parker will
Oh, thank you. You found a whole bunch of stuff I was looking for.
respond.
Like,
Parker,
yeah,
Parker essentially
what
Parker will
happened
approve or try to negotiate it if we need to.
Parker will deny it.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, goes into tab. Okay, cool. So, any other thoughts on, I guess, the logistical side of it?
Oh.
Okay, I think that's what we'll try that out. I'm sure we'll adjust as we go, but for right now, that's what we'll try. So, let's talk about some specific building ideas that your characters would be interested in or you think would be fun to have in the town. And then potentially what that could do. The ones I have are a wizard's tower, a library, a combat ground, just a generalized like adventure school or survival school, bank, a temple. Those are the ones I have off the top of my head. But what do you guys like or think?
What things? Just right in front.
I don't want to derail things, but maybe help me remember to ask, how does your character get these bonuses?
I think they're
later?
just passive bonuses that all characters will have at all points in time.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
like a static effect, essentially.
Even though Lacotte isn't like isn't likely to spend much time in a temple, probably he'll still get. Or yeah, let's revisit that. I don't want to derail, but
no, it's okay, and you don't even have to think you're a specific character. You could just think that would be cool in general, like what another character.
or
would
maybe
like.
if we have a better way to track down time, maybe we can say, "Oh, my character spends more time in these areas to get this bonus rather than these
Interesting.
bonuses." Or
Well,
I don't know.
I think the way you spend your time will be with your gold. Like that essentially will be it. Because like if you care about one particular effect more than the others, you're going to spend your money in that area, right? And the way you get that time is by playing D&D. But I'm not opposed to doing some sort of, because that's actually interesting, because I was thinking as well, I want there to be like levels of these buildings. So level 1 of the temple might be like you get advantage on religion checks or something. Level 2 would be you get 2 temporary hit points every day. And then the last one might be like you get your like you get 1 healing potion before like every week or something like that. I don't know. So
Okay.
so after the building is built, you can then improve upon that building afterwards.
I see.
Which would then require more gold to level up and everything.
So like if it did like an apothecary, like a tier 1 apothecary gives you like 1 healing potion every week type thing.
Yeah.
But like a tier 2 one, you could get like 1 healing potion or like a strength potion. I don't know if there's a strength potion thing, but
yeah. Or it might like reduce the cost of healing potions or something like that.
yeah. Okay.
I like that. So an apothecary.
Hey, stinker. No, you can't play with the dice anymore.
What are some other buildings that
Go show mom
you
that.
guys might be interested in?
Is like combat ground connected to like a blacksmith, or in your mind
blacksmith.
would
That's a good one. I forgot about that. Yeah, what would happen at the blacksmith?
Oh, I don't know, silvering your weapons, but I mean, I know that's kind of a thing you can just play, but maybe you're
Maybe you could like start buying +1 swords with gold, or
Yeah, I was afraid to ask, like, can you just have sharper weapons and somehow, or
Or it could be like, you roll whenever you hit with a weapon, you roll an extra D4 or something like that. Like, just a fun little thing. So basically improved weapons / like improved armor.
I guess armor should be included. Yeah, I'm not an armor character, so I kind of forgot that existed.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could also tie that into like downtime activities where you could work at the blacksmith shop and maybe get more income or something passively.
That's actually a good point. I think all these things you could potentially. That's a good point, actually. If you wanted to spend downtime doing income, you could do that. I like that.
That would be good for players who, because that was one thing I also wanted to ask was how do players who aren't able to play as often feel like they're contributing, and I also wondered, like, okay, Lakai is just laying around town, and like I'm not spending my gold on rations for who knows mystery number of days that laid around town between
Mm-hmm.
things. So how do we? Yeah, I didn't want to ask too.
Yeah.
I feel like this
If
can
I was a
easily get bogged down by too many variables, but like I don't know. I don't know.
if I was a better DM, I would make you pay a certain price for spending time in the town of Whitewall, like for food and stuff. And maybe I'll start once we keep track of time. But without keeping track of time, that's impossible to do pretty much.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it is.
so maybe it'll happen. I think in the future that definitely could happen.
But we should then provide ways that players can at least somehow passively earn a living to not just weight themselves into
Yeah,
debt by
I love
not being
that.
able to play for a month or something like that.
That's a great idea for sure. I like that a lot, actually. All right, we've got a little more time. We got about 7 more minutes. So, I have an apothecary and a blacksmith. Are there any other buildings you think would be cool, and what that
I
building
want to
might do?
think of something that an amphibious person would develop like Lacotte, but
You could do a
I can't
pond.
I can't quite think of it yet. I'm brainstorming, but I might come back to you with something.
You could make a pond or improve the fountain.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, something with what I'm going to think of something, but
What would you
I
want it
think
to do?
maybe I don't know, like fish farming or like
Ooh, I like that.
uh maybe make food
Hmm. Ooh, nice. That's
or
good. Ration generation or something. I love that.
I was thinking like the inn, like if we upgraded the inn, it could maybe provide like better food, which gives us that temporary hit points you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
And then like for the temple, this might be a little a stretch, but like maybe down the road they could do like resurrection contract type things where if we die out in the field, they have a way to resurrect us. But I don't know if that's
Oh, that's good.
what you want in the game or not.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, eventually, I guess we'll get resurrection spells and stuff. But
And
like,
this is definitely just brainstorming. So no idea is a bad idea right now. We're gonna throw them all out, and then I've never sounded more Stephen R. Covey in my life by right there. And I kind of felt a little dirty after I said that.
during the few minutes that we spoke earlier, Parker, we did kind of to improve both travel and give town improvements. We had talked about like hiring workers as like road builders or
building.
other
Mhm.
infrastructure, like bridge builders, if we come to a chasm, and also maybe Mage Tower helps us research, but somehow to build ways that we can travel more efficiently, whether it's roads or actually teleporting or like through magic or
Mhm.
other things. So maybe just to have it on there and figure out later is like a workers guild or something that we hire workers to build things.
Yeah, and
even just like a like I can't think of the name now. Like you can like hire people to
hirelings.
yeah, not necessarily hirelings. I was thinking of like mercenary type things where you could get like mercenaries to
Day
maybe
laborer.
Day labor works. Yeah, I was thinking mercenaries to like maybe guard some of the places we find if we want
Oh,
to
that's good.
keep them safe. Like if we find like a
Mm.
mine or something, could have like mercenaries protect it for us while we're out adventuring.
So like a mercenary guild or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we could like, I don't know, kind of along those lines, as we start to go to places that are further and further from, town, have like, I don't know, traveling camps or something that have like
Oh.
mercenaries and like places that we can take a long rest that don't require us to go all the way back.
Like an outpost or something. Like camp
Yeah.
or an outpost. That's actually
Something
great. You can still get that long rest benefit without having to be in a dungeon. I love that.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
The outpost.
Maybe
will be
that's
the
something we
dungeon.
can build multiple of, or it could be like a mobile type of a camp thing.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Move
an
it around. I
awesome
don't know.
idea.
I don't remember what like the land is like around Whitewall, but there should probably be like a farm or something on there as well
Oh yeah,
of
farm.
some sort. I don't necessarily consider my character a farmer, but
What would the farm do?
like the only thing I could think of is just better food, but that's already kind of with the inn I was thinking of, where if there's like
The
a
inn.
better food source, like more like those temporary hit points type of thing from eating, having a better food or having more nourishment. I don't know.
You don't die of heart disease.
Exactly.
That's what really kills adventurers. It's heart disease.
Heart disease. Takes them all the time. Those water
More
comes from
adventurers
the
die to
ground
heart
in the
disease
city.
than any other thing. It's like triple the amount. Well, and I was thinking as well, if you upgrade the inn, then eventually you could have like a permanent room there, no cost, or something like that. You're a benefactor of the
I
inn.
want to build my own house. I don't
Yeah,
want
or
an
you can
inn.
build. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, you can build your own house.
Actually, I just need a plug in the wall is all my character needs. But
I know. I like that.
Being
I think
out
it's
loud, I'm
fun.
totally fine.
I think the fun of a lot of like buying houses for people in video games is the fact that you can design what's in the house. So in a game like D&D where it's entirely played in your mind pretty much, I wonder if people would still like that. They're like, "Yeah, I want it." And I'm putting this head of this dinosaur on my mantle.
Oh, of course. Like,
And
if we
I think
kill
people would
anything
still
cool,
like that imaginary in-game DLC,
I mean, it'd either be that or like I don't know if the town has like a keep or anything like that, or like who the leadership is in Whitewall, but along with like a keep or like a castle would be like some type of guard or guards there. I don't know if we have to worry about getting attacked or not.
Yeah.
I nominate Lacotte for president.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
What would be Lacotte's platform?
is a rather warmongering type.
Oh, I guess the other
All
board
the
I was
best
thinking
leaders are.
yeah. Along with the mercenary guild would also be like an adventure guild. I think that's the word I was looking for originally. Or if there's like an adventure guild, there could be like an adventurers hall where we can keep all our trophies
That's good.
to show off our accomplishments, all those goblin years.
Okay. So that's perfect. I think this is a pretty good list. I'll think about the ones that I like the most, and if you guys like any more than others, let me know in the chat or direct message me, and we can flesh it out. So I think this is how it'll work from now on. Like, essentially, somebody will, post a little pitch for their building, and then we can try to flesh it out if we need to. Does that work?
Yeah, I'm curious to see kind of like what the costs for these will be.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research and reading on that, and if you guys can if you guys can think of what you think fair costs would be, also, then we can do that, because I don't know as well. So
One gold.
I don't think we're gonna figure it out.
Well, I mean, if Lacotte wants to make a lake, like that should be free, right? You just have to dig it.
I mean, if it's just him, he can dig it right now. It'll just take a very long time.
All that downtime, just digging a lake.
Yeah.
We already talked about upkeep cost a little bit. Are there any other really important buildings you guys want down? Okay.
Did you ever put the church on there? I don't know what the church would do versus the temple, but temples and churches are kind of different
Not put
things.
the church in there. Yeah, that could help with like religion checks or something also.
And that's the thing, yeah, is I don't know if you were planning on these just being like a static, like like a religion check type thing, or like the blacksmith would be. Actually, that doesn't really.
And some of
really
these
have,
might
like,
just
crafting
be
checks,
some of these
but-
might just be fun to have and might just be a way to interact with the world as well. Not every building has to have a purpose, you know, like if you're like, yeah, I
But
think it would just be
we're
really...
min maxers here. We need
And that's great if we want to do that. But if you're like, no, I just really want to build a stained glass window, or I want to carve this, you know, I want to carve a bust of me and have it, or I want to have an ironclad statue of me, you know, like in the middle of the town square. Like there might not be any benefit to that, but it's something your character wants to do, you know. So
yeah.
I want that to be an option. Okay, well, any just closing thoughts or questions? I'll post I think this list, or tell people to check it out in the chat. I think people can only view this right now. I'll let people, or if there's one that you like, yeah, I'll change it to comment. So if anybody wants to comment on any of these, and then if I find anything that I think is a pretty good like template or benchmark for how we could start this, then I'll try to post that as well, or glean from it some costs and things like that. So any additional thoughts or questions about the campaign or about any of the town stuff?
Feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it will be a lot of work up front, and then I think it will be something we're kind of happy to have as it goes on. I think it's...
No, and I definitely like the idea of like improving the buildings too, where they're not just like done once they're built.
Yeah.
To like kind of further the benefits. So then some of these that we want just for like role playing reasons, we don't necessarily have to like level them up all the way, but
Yeah.
So it gives us a chance to kind of build our characters a little bit more through how they want to help the town.
Yeah, if you're gonna level up your statue, it starts as a statue of you, and then it becomes a statue of all your slain enemies for level 5.
Starts out with wood, and then in the end, it's made out of granite.
Yeah, exactly.
Or gold.
Exactly.
Gold, maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts or questions or anything?
Oh, I turned off the game. I don't know who's winning anymore.
Well, I hope you guys are having fun in the sessions. The more we play, the more fun I'm actually having, which is good. But please let me know if you ever have any feedback or anything for me. I would love to hear it.
Let's have a problem with that shirt.
This one?
Bard? Really?
Yeah, it's a good shirt.
Kidding. No, it's fine.
All right. Anything else?
No, thanks for all the thinking and effort, Parker.
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. It's fun. It's fun hanging out with you guys. You guys make it really enjoyable. So thank you. All right. I will talk to all of you later.
Take care.
Take care.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.